Honestly, Jeepers Creepers 2 is an underrated sequel because I feel like you get to learn more about the Creeper in terms of just him having more of like a personality. He's much more fun, more playful. The actor that plays the Creeper was like the highlight of this movie. Like he was actually the star as always. He's so amazing. His mannerisms, his facial expressions, his gestures. It just always like made me feel creeped out. And fam, those eyes, man. His eyes are just so like it's creepy. That Creeper is one of the scariest monsters in horror history. And I also really like the dad in this film. The guy that was, had the dog and the son. He was one of those characters that you could really root for to try and take down the Creeper, and also like his acting was very convincing and you could really empathize with the character. I couldn't care about any of those kids in this film. Like they were just so annoying, especially the guy Scotty. The guy Scotty was this annoying little irritating little rat. You couldn't like root for him as a character because there was nothing about him to root for. He was just constantly just rude. When I was watching the movie, there was no characters that really stood out for me. Obviously you had the character that Minxie that was kind of like supposed to be like one of the main characters, but I could not stand her as well. She was the one that had the answers, but yet she's just standing there or sitting there staring off into the distance, not talking. I just felt like they utilized her in like a terrible way. I thought the setting in this movie was really good, like them being on like a school bus in the middle of nowhere in like the cornfield area. It felt very isolating. I thought that was like a smart choice to have like school kids on the bus along with the Creeper. Like I really thought it was like effective. They did a good job at making it feel like something's actually happening even though they're just in one set location. I also like how you didn't really see the Creeper much. You'd see him in the dark of course, but obviously the dark is always going to be effective in making someone look creepy. But then when you see him in the daytime, I liked how they were like cast shadows on his face, so you wouldn't necessarily see his face properly, and it just made you feel more creeped out. Because I feel like if they made a movie like set too bright in the daytime and had his face too exposed, I feel like it would have made him look less scary. I thought the pacing in this movie was like very well done, and I think it was because like most of the time I was just like excited to see the creature and excited to see what he was going to do next, when he was going to kill like the students or when he was going to kill that random person in the background. I personally feel like the movie wasn't too long. I think the movie was like only like an hour and something. I thought the kills in this movie was really good. They did like effective ways of making the kills like exciting. There wasn't like a lot of gore in the movie, but for me, when I'm going to watch these movies, I'm also watching it for the Creeper and how he kills his victims. I don't necessarily mind if there's not like a lot of like blood or a lot of gore. I also love the urgency from the Creeper. Play with the food for a bit, but still get the kills very quickly. Made the movie more actiony versus like, I guess, like suspense. I thought at times the effects was bad, but it wasn't one of them situations where it bothered me. It's something that I noticed since people pointed it out, but for me, like the environment and the visuals was good enough for me to where it didn't like take me out the movie. I also felt like there was like some very good transitions with the Creeper, certain shots where it's like very like effective and creative. What I loved about this movie honestly also was like the opening, no long thing, no rubbish, straight off of action, straight off of tension, excitement. And I just liked how, like I said, the urgency, like I said, it just gave me that excitement, and it kind of made me feel like, yeah, this movie is going to be good throughout the entire like runtime. But anyways, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you thought about this movie, if you hated it or if you loved it. In a bit, man.